Happy Monday, beautiful Monday mamas. Here we are. I promised you guys that I would show up raw and real. Raw and reals, here we are. Um, I I don't really know what I have to say to you today, but I want to be consistent in showing up, and so I'm showing up. And I had a busy morning this morning, just a bunch of stuff going on, so I went out and did all that, and then came home and procrastinated sitting down and reading because I don't want to do the work right now. I just want to change. I don't want to do the work. If I'm being honest, that's what I want. I want some change in my life, but I don't want to do the work. And I know that doing the work is obviously what has to happen. So I kind of think that's where I'm at today with everything. I am still working through the book Worthy by Jamie Kern-Lima. I highly, highly recommend it. I'm also reading a book right now called You Are a Badass at Making Money. It is by Jen Soriano. I don't know if I said that right. She also wrote a book called You Are a Badass, and highly recommend them. I actually think I'm going to reread You Are a Badass because I just feel like it's kind of, I need some of that right now. But I maybe this is where we're going to go. How do we all feel about mindset? And I know it's such a thrown around word, but do we really understand the importance of mindset? Like, being positive isn't just telling yourself positive things. It's about really changing the way that your subconscious sees and views things. And I'm understanding it reading the You're a Badass at Making Money, just how crazily what my subconscious believes about money and finances, how that affects all of my decisions, and not even knowing it. And I'm certain that also this book that I'm reading, Worthy, and how, let's see, pull up my book here. So I've got all the things underlined. So something that I underlined today was she's talking about, this is how, when she's talking about beginning to understand Jesus and God and establish that relationship. And she said, my mind didn't believe them yet, but my soul did. And that hit me because I feel like that is so true to where I'm currently at. I believe in my soul that I am worthy. I believe that I am enough. But man, my brain has a hard time with it in the day-to-day life. Like, my subconscious continually kicks me back to, if I just did a bit more, if I just tried a bit harder, if I was just a bit nicer, if I wasn't so bitchy. That's kind of always where I go. And I'm just really trying to work through that because I do believe in my soul that I am enough and that I'm worthy of love as I am. Something else that I underlined today was, I spent the next several years putting in the hard work of understanding why I equated and confused attention, achievement, and external validation with love and worthiness. Does that penetrate anybody else? I feel like that is exactly my heart. And I mean, probably mixed into all this is also people pleasing and trying to keep everyone else happy. And I guess maybe what I would say today, what I would challenge you all today would be, are you doing the work? We talk about wanting change. We talk about wanting different lives. I want to grow a business that is serving hundreds of thousands of people. I want that. I know it's possible. I know that God has greater dreams for me than I do. And I truly believe in my soul that there is greatness out there and that I'm born to be great. But the question is, am I doing the work? And sometimes the work is this type of work where you're like pulling at your heartstrings and you're trying to work things out and you're reading. And other times it's just like feet on the ground, boots on the ground, doing the work. And that is what I would challenge you in, is you're listening, you're seeking, and those are great. Keep doing that. We have to keep learning and hearing and investing in ourselves. But are you doing the work? And I think that's where I'm stuck right now. I think that's really the grind that I'm feeling is I want the change. I want my mindset to change. I don't want to live the same way I'm living. I want to see my life differently. But in order for that to happen, I have to do things differently. And I spent some time also part-time coaching at a CrossFit gym, and one of the biggest things that I say to myself in my fitness journey that I say to other people at the gym is you have to show up. You have to keep showing up. You can't just come to the gym one time and expect to know all the things. You have to keep coming to the gym. You have to keep trying the moves. You have to keep practicing the moves. You have to change things when you're doing them wrong and start doing them correctly. And I guess that's just the same for all the things in life, is if we want to make change in our lives, which if you're listening this far into this, you want to make change. So I would challenge you have to do the work. So do the work, sit down, take 30 minutes, not longer. We don't need to take a full day. Take 30 minutes. Let your brain go on what you want in your life. Let your brain dreamcast what you want to go, where you want, what you dream, what evokes emotion in you. Tony Robbins always talks about emotion sticks to memory. So if you think of his example is always, if you think of 9/11, you know where you were, you know what you were doing, because there's such a big emotion attached to that. You don't know what you were doing on 8/11 that year, but you know what you're doing 9/11. And when you sit and you dream and you envision your life, I want you to tie emotion to that. So I want you to close your eyes and let yourself feel it. I have a big dream for my business. And when I sit and I think about it, I close my eyes and I really envision every part of it. Who will be there? What will it feel like? What will I drink? What time of day is it? I really let it all come in, and I let some emotion come into that. So do that for 30 minutes. Sit down, vision it up, let the feels feel. And then I want you to think about what's the next step. And that's really what I feel God has put on my heart this year, is do the big dream and then let him dream bigger. And instead of trying to answer the question of, well, how am I going to get there? Like this big crazy dream, how? Because that's so discouraging and it's so overwhelming. I just want you to think about what is the one small next step. So if you want to, for example, fitness, if you want to lose 50 pounds, well, the question you're not asking yourself, how do I lose 50 pounds? You're asking yourself, how do I lose 1 pound? You're doing the next small thing to do one thing. You don't worry about the 50, you worry about the 1. And then once you've dealt with the 1, then you deal with the next one. And then the 1, and you deal with the next one. And we just keep dealing with the next one. There's a guy, runner, and he's a crazy fast runner. And he always says, when he runs marathons and stuff, he always says, I just focus on the mile I'm in. He's not thinking about all the miles to come. He's focusing on the mile he's in. And oftentimes we really get focused on where we want to be, where we want to go, what the dream is, what the vision is. And that's great to have. But I'd really push you to really focus on what is the one next thing, and then are you doing the work to do that one next thing? So there we go. I guess I just sorted that out for myself too. So we're going to work on the one next thing, the one small next thing. Make your dreamcast it, get your heart out there, get all the feels, and then decide what's the one next thing that you need to do. And I highly, strongly suggest get books, listen to podcasts, do the things that are going to add to your life. Don't expect that everything's just going to fall into your lap. You have to do the work. And sometimes doing the work is reading the right things, listening to the right things, talking to the right people. But you need to do the work. You got to be boots on the ground doing the work. So there's my Monday motivation for you. Do the work, get up, do the work, and things will change. So there you go. If you're in Alberta, near Carstairs, enjoy the sunshine.